Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. Of course, we have to keep talking about John Cena and his final match because there are two rumors floating around that I think are important to address. One from Mark Henry and one from John Cena's dad, John Cena Sr. One, I think Mark Henry has probably the worst takes in professional wrestling. Of anyone who does reactions or commentary or has opinions on professional wrestling, Mark Henry has the worst. One, the Rajay Jackson situation, he totally fumbled and was a horrible commentator on that whole terrible situation. And now, bringing up to this situation with John Cena, Mark Henry is adamant that Joe Hendry should be John Cena's final opponent. Joe Hendry isn't even in the WWE. Yes, he's part of TNA. Yes, he appears on NXT frequently. Yes, he had that thing with Randy Orton at WrestleMania. But Joe Hendry is not a superstar that WWE is trying to build around for the future. This guy is in his mid-30s. He is not going to be the standard bearer for John Cena. He is not going to main event WrestleManias. Yes, Joe Hendry is a very entertaining act. Yes, he's worked extremely hard to get where he's at. Yes, I give him all the credit in the world for doing what he's done. Absolutely give the flowers to Joe Hendry, but he is not going to carry WWE in the post-John Cena era, and he is not going to main event WrestleManias. Now, he may be a superstar in WWE. He may have matches on Raw and have good moments and create storylines and have all these types of things that are really important for the sort of the nucleus of WWE. But he is not going to be in the Braun Breaker shoes. He is not going to be main eventing WrestleManias against Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns or CM Punk or Randy Orton in the near future. And so why on earth do you think why on earth does Mark Henry think that he should get the most massive rub of all time? You're going to go down in history as John Cena's final opponent, and you want to give it to a guy who has really no future of carrying the WWE past the John Cena era. So that's why it's a bad take. It's a poor take. Yes, again, Joe Hendry is fantastic. Love the guy. Think he's great. Think his work is phenomenal. His in-ring stuff is subpar. He's not like a great technician or a great wrestler. You know, you're not going to watch his matches and be like, man, that was amazing. But his character, his presence, like all of those intangible characteristics are there for Joe Hendry, and that is fantastic. But he is not the guy. He is not the guy to be John Cena's last opponent, because he is not the guy who is going to carry WWE into the future. That's what we have to think about when you have this final John Cena match. You're going to think of John Cena's whole retirement year. You're going to think of the time he turned heel. He won the championship. He did this. He did that. Who was his last opponent? Who retired him? That's what people are going to think about. And that person gets instantly elevated. I mean, Chris Jericho's entire career was built on the fact that he beat The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in one night. Now, I'm not saying beating John Cena or retiring John Cena is the same type of rub and elevation as that, but it's in the same ballpark when you beat someone like that. Gunther beats, Goldberg in his very, very last match. They're going to remember that. Right? And so when you think about that has to go into play. And just, again, Mark Henry has some of the worst takes you're going to see for someone who is a superstar in WWE, who understands the business to a very, he understands the business like no other people do because he's been involved in it so much. He's been a world champion. He's been at WrestleMania. He's done all these types of things, and he still doesn't have good commentary. It's unbelievable. And then on top of that, the next rumor, which I think is a little more plausible and could be cool, is John Cena Sr. says that John Cena should beat Dominic Mysterio at Survivor Series for the Intercontinental title. Then he becomes a Grand Slam champion. And then Dominic Mysterio wins the tournament, faces John Cena in his last match, and wins that IC title back on December 13th. Now, I don't totally hate that idea. Like, I like Dominic Mysterio. I think he has a good future with WWE. I don't see Dominic Mysterio main eventing any WrestleManias like his dad did, but I could be wrong. He has grown leaps and bounds as a professional wrestler and as a performer since he started. And I give him all the credit in the world for that, for working really hard to become this person who is the performer that he is today. So congratulations on that. Do I see him as a WrestleMania main eventer? Do I see him in the same light as a Braun Breaker? No, I don't. But with that said, or Gunther, right? With that said, does Braun Breaker or Gunther really need this rub from John Cena? No. Gunther, Braun Breaker, already sort of gonna be the main eventers of the future. Gunther's a little bit older than Braun Breaker, so his time is running out, of course. But when Kevin Owens comes back and all these types of things. Anyways, but so who's gonna benefit the most? Who's gonna benefit the most from beating John Cena in his final match? There's a rumor about Solo Sikoa. Okay, I'm not mad at that. He could potentially be a future main eventer of WrestleMania. Braun Breaker, not mad at that. Don't think he really needs the rub. Gunther is going to be the ultimate choice because he's going to be the guy who's going to be the standard bearer moving forward, especially if he goes on to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. But the Dominic Mysterio idea is not a bad one. Again, John Cena beats Dominic Mysterio at Survivor Series for the IC title. Everyone's going nuts. Everyone loves it. Oh my God, John Cena's a Grand Slam champion. Is he going to go... is he going to retire with a championship belt like he said he was going to? And then Dominic Mysterio claws his way all the way back through the tournament. Cheats, lies, steals, does all this Eddie Guerrero type stuff to win the freaking tournament, and then boom, beats John Cena and December 13th to win his IC title back. And then there you go. I think that would be pretty cool. I would be in for that. I think that would be a fun story for John and for Dominic Mysterio. But I'm really all in on Gunther winning the tournament. I'm all in on Gunther beating John Cena on December 13th. And I'm all in on Gunther beating the shit out of Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42 and skyrocketing his fucking credibility. That's what I think. Let me know what you think about those two rumors, how dumb Mark Henry is, and the really good idea that John Cena Sr. had. Let me know in the comments down below, and then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.